I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. And this week, we had AEW Full Gear 2023 from Hollywood. Let's get into this. The opening match was a trios match of Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne, and TNT champion Christian Cage versus Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland, with Ric Flair at ringside. Because as has been said, Sting is on his retirement tour. He says his last match will be at AEW Revolution, and Ric Flair is going to be with him the whole way. This was a great way to start the show, as this match was really good. I mean, it definitely had its cringe moments, like when Luchasaurus chokeslammed Darby Allin onto the apron outside. Of course, Ric Flair being there, Christian Cage being a jerk to Ric Flair. Ric Flair got involved, but it didn't really work out for him as he got thumbed in the eye by Christian Cage and then hit right in his
Captain Winky!
But when Cage got into the ring, the referee was down. He tried to hit Adam Copeland with the TNT Championship. Adam Copeland moved out of the way so that Christian Cage hit Luchasaurus. And this allowed Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland to gang up on Luchasaurus until Adam Copeland got the win for his team. Like I said, great way to start the show. 4 out of 5. Yay! Then for the AEW International Championship, Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy 2. As we know, Jon Moxley beat Orange Cassidy for the championship at All Out, and then kind of in a botch situation, he got legit concussed during a match with Rey Fenix, and Rey Fenix won the championship. Orange Cassidy won the championship from Rey Fenix and has wanted to fight Jon Moxley ever since because that's not like his white whale. He's got to get a victory over Jon Moxley. And honestly, this match was really good. For one, it wasn't nearly as one-sided as the All Out match was. Jon Moxley still dominated most of the match, but Orange Cassidy got in a lot more offense. Heck, and Orange Cassidy even pulled out some new stuff, like doing his Buddy Hooks move, the Red Rum. And it ended after Orange Cassidy hit Jon Moxley with the Orange Punch 6 times, then hit him with a beach break and got the pin, definitively beating Jon Moxley, which makes me think these two need to have a rubber match. We'll see how that goes in the future. But for right now, this one gets another 4 out of 5. Then for the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm challenges Hikaru Shida. I will say this match did feel a little bit rushed, but it was still very entertaining. Like Toni Storm's antics going on with this whole Timeless character, where she's basically like a silent era film bombshell, I guess. But doing weird things like taking off Hikaru Shida's shoe and trying to hit her with it. And of course her butler Luther got involved, but Hikaru Shida made quick work of that with a kendo stick. However, when this was going on, Toni Storm put a piece of metal down her britches and used that when she did a hip attack on Hikaru Shida, knocking her out, getting the pin, and becoming the first 3-time AEW Women's World Champion. Which honestly, in my opinion, is the way to go, because right now she's the hottest women's star in AEW. So like I said, this match was another really good one. Another one that deserved a 4 out of 5. Yay! Then for the AEW Tag Team Championships, a 4-way ladder match between the Kings of the Black Throne, LFI, FTR, and Ricky Starks and Big Bill. What a match. It was crazy. And of course, there were crazy spots involving a ladder. Like when Cash Wheeler pile drove Malachi Black onto a ladder that was perched. Not to be outdone, Malachi Black's partner, Brody King, did the Gonzo Bomb onto Duralistico onto a bridged ladder. But in the midst of all this craziness, it was Ricky Starks who was able to climb the ladder and get the belts, retaining the tag team championships for him and Big Bill. Like I said, this was awesome. This match, 5 out of 5. Yay! Then a 3-way match for the AEW TBS Championship. Julia Hart versus Sky Blue versus champion Chris Statlander. This was awesome. I mean, it started how we thought it would. Julia Hart and Sky Blue both kind of being in that gothic state right now because at some point both of them have been misted in the eyes, and apparently that has a psychological effect. I don't know, but they ganged up on Chris Statlander. Like, for example, when they both took turns doing dives off the apron onto her. But eventually it got back to being just a 3-way match. And then Chris Statlander got the Saturday Night Fever onto Sky Blue. Then Julia Hart very promptly knocked Chris Statlander out of the way so she could take her pin over Sky Blue, not only get the win, but become the 3rd ever TBS champion. And also ending the night good for the House of Black. as Buddy Matthews lost to Claudio Castagnoli in the pre-show, and the Kings of the Black Throne didn't win the tag team championships. Either way, this is awesome. I'm glad she's the TBS champion. I think she deserves it. I think her character is very interesting, and I would love to see it more elevated. This one, another 4 out of 5. Then, as was stated on the previous episode of AEW Collision, Tony Khan was going to unveil the newest AEW signee. And of course, from that point on, there was rumors going all over the place. Was it going to be Dolph Ziggler? Was it going to be some other legend that's been let go? Was it going to be one of those guys that nobody really cared about that just recently got let go? Well, we got the answer. As the newest member of AEW is Will Ospreay. Really awesome signee. Not very surprising considering Will Ospreay's done so much in AEW. However, he did announce that he is not joining right this minute. He had an 8-year commitment with New Japan Pro Wrestling that is not quite up yet, but will be up within the next couple of months. He's going to finish it up, and then he said he'll be on the road to Revolution. So he'll be at Revolution. Either way, this is awesome because with his contract coming up with New Japan Pro Wrestling, the rumors were circulating. Was he going to go to AEW? Was he going to go to WWE? Was he going to find a way to re-sign with New Japan Pro Wrestling? What was he going to do? Well, it's now answered. Will Ospreay is All Elite. Then, for my money, the match of the night. The Texas Death Match between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. As we know, this rivalry has been getting so hot since their last match, especially when Swerve Strickland went into Adam Page's home when he wasn't there. The story was already great. This match was so brutal. Granted, when it comes to death matches, there's not much we haven't seen. Like when Adam Page grabbed the duct tape and the staple gun and duct taped Swerve Strickland's hands together while he stapled him. Brutal, cringeworthy, but nothing I haven't seen before. But we did see something we have never seen before when Swerve Strickland was bleeding and Adam Page decided to give himself a little taste. I can't think of another match where I've actually seen the opponent drink the other opponent's blood.
Ew.
But even, no pun intended, swerving us a little bit when Swerve Strickland pulled out the black bag, which usually has thumbtacks, sometimes now has Legos, but no, all over Adam Page's back, he poured out broken glass. Then went up and did a 450 splash onto him, and the broken glass. Now, in a Texas death match, the one difference between that and any other death match, it doesn't end by pin, it ends by either submission or knockout. Well, Swerve Strickland was knocked out, he was incapacitated, he was almost at the 10 count when his manager Prince Nana helped him to his feet. From there, out came Brian Cage. But not only was Adam Page able to fight off Brian Cage, but he was also able to take out Prince Nana. However, this gave Strickland enough time to recuperate so he could grab a cinder block and smash it over Hangman Page's face, then choke him with a steel chain until he passed out and could no longer answer the 10 count. Therefore, the winner of this match, Swerve Strickland, which I'm okay with. He's really at that point that he's ready for the championship match. Some may argue maybe not ready for the championship, but he's definitely ready to be in the main event. This match obviously gets a 5 out of 5. Yeah! Then, tag team grudge match, the Golden Jets versus the Young Bucks. The stipulation being the Golden Jets, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, if they win, they get the Young Bucks guaranteed anytime, anywhere tag team title shot. If the Young Bucks win, the Golden Jets have to disband. Like we would expect, this was a really good match. I mean, it's the Young Bucks, one of the best tag teams out there. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, two of the best wrestlers out there. How could it go wrong? But this was the thing about the match, where Jericho really thrives, was the storytelling. Because the Young Bucks, of course, they took cheap shots at Jericho all the time throughout the match, but it got to a point where he did so much that Matt Jackson actually hit Kenny Omega in the
Winky.
his best friend. But then as the match progressed, after some insane back and forth, Omega was finally able to get the one-winged angel onto Matt Jackson and get the pin, meaning that he and Chris Jericho get their guaranteed title shot. But then even after the match, the story didn't stop, as it started with Nick Jackson just throwing a huge temper tantrum outside the ring. And then when Matt Jackson came to, he joined in the huge temper tantrum they were throwing outside of the ring. Obviously, this is not done. However, it's been reported that the Young Bucks are taking a break, so we'll see how that goes. But for right now, this match, another 4 out of 5. Then the main event for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Jay White versus MJF. Now, in the pre-show, MJF, with the help of Samoa Joe, successfully defended the ROH Tag Team Championships against the Guns. But after the match, they took out MJF's leg to the point that he had to go to the hospital. So it was announced that the match was not going to happen. By default, Jay White was the champion. However, Adam Cole, baby, came out and said even though he is still injured, after having just had ankle surgery, he's going to step in for MJF so that they don't just take away his championship. But like I think we were all assuming was going to happen, right as the bell rang, we go to the back, we see an ambulance pulling up, and it's MJF who hijacked the ambulance, coming out to defend his AEW World Heavyweight Championship, which was great for the drama of showing how important it was to MJF. Not only is he now the longest reigning AEW champion ever, but this was on literally day number 364. One more day, he's been a champion for a whole year. The match itself, not just the drama, was very good, even when they recovered a botch. At one point, MJF, like he does, he was going to put Jay White on the announce table, go up and do an elbow drop onto the announce table, but the announce table had gotten so beat up from the previous matches that the second he put Jay White on the table, it collapsed underneath him. Couldn't hold it anymore. But this did not just stop MJF from climbing the top rope and doing the elbow drop anyway, which in my opinion just sounds a lot worse. Because even though, yes, going through the table hurts, at least it breaks your fall a little bit. And it was after Adam Cole on the outside tossed MJF his Dynamite Diamond ring, and he hit Jay White with it. Which, yes, cheating, but to be fair, Jay White had been cheating. The Guns had been out there cheating. MJF was injured. MJF picked up the win over Jay White, retaining his AEW World Heavyweight Championship, meaning he has now officially been AEW champion for over 1 calendar year. The match itself, the drama and everything involved, easily this match got another 5 out of 5. Yay! So AEW Full Gear 2023 overall was a freaking awesome pay-per-view. It's one of those pay-per-views that I watch, and then I look at the non-AEW fans and I say, shut up. Like, if you don't like AEW, okay, you don't like AEW. That's fine. But stop talking about it like it's a bad product. It's not a bad product. It is really good. They put on awesome shows. Is every one of their shows amazing? No. But I will say this. Their worst pay-per-view of the year has honestly been better than the average WWE pay-per-view this year. Not to get on the bandwagon of bashing WWE, that's not how I am. But facts are facts. WWE has gotten ridiculously redundant and ridiculously boring. Whereas AEW is showing how they know how to save the best for their pay-per-views, especially their big pay-per-views like Full Gear. Like with their next pay-per-view, World's End, coming up, it's kind of becoming clear that they're about to start doing the format of having at least one pay-per-view a month, which, sure, I'm okay with that. But they have their own big four, Double or Nothing, All Out, Full Gear, and Revolution, and they know how to save the best for those. Because this event was freaking awesome. Every match kept my attention. Every match I didn't want to look away from because it could end at any minute. Every match was filled with drama and storytelling. Every match was elite, if we will. This was an entire pay-per-view of nothing but 4s and 5s. Not even matches that were just okay. Every match was either really good or fantastic. Which honestly, for a pay-per-view, that's how I feel they should all be. I know they can't all be. That should be what they're always striving for. Versus events where there's a bunch of matches that are just okay and maybe 1 or 2 really good matches. In my opinion, that shouldn't be a premium live event. This is what it should be, and I would be remiss if I didn't give AEW Full Gear 2023 a 5 out of 5. Yay! So there you have it. That's my wrestling review this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications when I post new videos, and leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of AEW Full Gear 2023. Love you guys.